We had a major death, a major reveal, and a major return as Smiley came back from the dead. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review Season 3, the finale, Episode 10 of From. Obviously, this one was called Revelations, Chapter 2, and we also say goodbye. And unfortunately, we say goodbye to Jim Matthews. He had to go. It's been pretty much the full season without any major character deaths. We knew one was coming this episode, and unlucky for Jim, he died despite actually having a bit of a redeeming arc in this episode. He cracked the code. For once, he wasn't moaning, he wasn't complaining, he was actually helping, and maybe in the end, him helping too much is what got him killed.
It appears that way. R.I.P. Jim Matthews. You know what? We made a video earlier on today bashing this guy, saying he was annoying.
Take it back. We want to delete that.
Yeah. Why did it take the episode where he died for him to redeem himself? I guess that's just good writing.
It is. I mean, I like the finale. I thought it started off pretty slow. It got better towards the end. Do I think they could have done with a longer finale? Yes. Do I think some of the stuff that happened in this could have happened in episode 9? I believe so, because I kind of want it more. But I guess that's good television. That when the episode ended, I was wanting to know what happened next.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that's part of getting you to tune in to season 4. So
I think this episode delivered that. It brought back the feel-good vibes of From for me. It makes me properly invested. Like, I just wish there was another episode next week.
Or at least another 15-20 minutes after.
Yeah, because it did kind of end abruptly. But we may as well begin with the episode, shall we? Because, but there was a lot of reveals, but it kind of feels like, alright, yeah, we know this season hasn't been that good, so let's just fire about 5 reveals into this.
Yeah, it's like they saved all the big stuff for this episode. I'm not really going to complain, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we have Ellis meets with his father. Kenny's in there. He reveals that he believes Elgin knows about Fatima and where she's hiding, or maybe more so where she's being kept. So Boyd, hearing about this, tells Elgin and Kenny, go up to Colony House, keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't escape. Boyd later turns up, Donna's there, Sarah's there, and they confront Elgin. They lock him in a room, they want answers. Elgin isn't prepared to give answers, so Boyd thinks, well, if you're not going to give them up, I'll just take them from you.
Yeah, he gets the toolbox, he has a wee conversation with Father Cattry, who's like, here, you said this place wouldn't break you. Looks like you're broken, big man.
You know, Father Cattry coming back for like the 100th time, he was lecturing Boyd, saying you can't do this, you can't torture him. If you do this, the place has won, the place has broken you. You're not the person that you want to be. But Father Cattry was also the same guy when he was actually alive that pretty much told Boyd that he had to kill, I believe his name was David, in the third episode. Frank? Might have been, yeah, I think it was Frank. He basically said you have to put Frank in the box. So, I mean, Father Cattry back then was like adamant that these rules need to be kept. You need to punish him. But here, he didn't want Elgin to be punished. And, I mean, was Elgin being punished, or was Boyd doing what he felt like he needed to do? You know what? I don't see if Boyd was doing some light torture, like, in order to try and get the... I don't think that's that bad, considering what's at stake here.
Yeah, I thought Father Cattry brought up some good points here, right? But the reality is, it's like, I see the similarities. It's like, you wished off big Fatima, and you protected her when she killed Tilly. Why are you not doing the same way?
Father Cattry is right here. Let's say this is his son, and he's hiding somebody. Are you telling me Boyd, or let's say Fatima's hiding Elgin for some reason?
Aye.
Are you telling me Boyd is going to fucking tie down Fatima to a chair and start bashing her hands up?
Yeah, like, I think Boyd was justified to do a bit of torture. But I definitely see both sides of the argument. You can see why, like, Acosta's like, yo, what the fuck? You can see why Donna's like, what the fuck? Kenny's like, what the fuck? But the reality is, I like the scene where Boyd's like, you were supposed to be with me, motherfucker. We were supposed to be there to the end. Tom Cattry.
And you decided to walk outside and get your throat slit. So, I I always enjoy the scenes with Father Cattery and Boyd, but just seeing how many times they've brought him back, you kind of just think, why kill him?
Yeah. But the problem is, we don't kill off Cattery.
Then there's pretty much nobody's died up to this episode.
Yeah, and that is the problem at the end of the day. But
can you really have a show like where none of the? Because I would say up until this episode, Father Cattery is the only major character to die. Dale's not a major character. Tay Cheng's not a major character. Sarah's brother wasn't a major character. None of those people were major characters. They just apart from Father Cattery and Jim. Who is the third biggest person to die? It's probably Tom, the bartender.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say
or
Boyd's wife, I mean, I guess she's a...
Nah, she didn't die in it. That's flashback. It would either be Tay Cheng or Tom.
Yeah.
Because I think he ran the bar and she ran the diner, so they probably had...
Yeah, and Kenny's dad as well. It's like, the fact that Kenny's parents have died, that's got a big weight because, it's Kenny. His parents have both died, but... Reality is, I think Father Cattery needed to die.
Yeah, but look at Kenny's father literally had a couple of scenes where he has dementia and he's playing chess. It's not giving me major character vibes. Like,
no.
You know what I mean?
At the time, Father Cattery, I thought it was too early. Looking back, I think it needed to happen because who else is dying?
No, I mean it did, but honestly, man, the amount of times I brought Father Cattery back, I just think I think it might have been better if he just never died in the first place.
Boyd gets the toolbox. He goes into Elgin. I mean, Kenny puts a bit of resistance up, but I mean, his arse kind of collapsed.
You know what? I think this was time for Kenny to step up. Boyd trusts him. Boyd says, "I want you to be my lead here." And when I'm gone, and Kenny had the chance here to basically say, "Nah, you ain't doing it," or I'm going to try and speak to him one more time. But Kenny was like, "Maybe we should try and speak to him." Boyd's like, "No, we're running out of time." And Kenny's like, "All right, okay, after you, on you go." It's like I think Kenny should have tried to prevent Boyd from getting in there, or at least saying to Boyd, "Look, no, I want to try it my way, and if it doesn't work, we'll try it your way." To me, scenes like this, I think, show that Kenny's not
ready.
He's not ready to lead. Let's say Boyd does pass away and Kenny's the leader. Do you not think Acosta would just walk all over? I think Acosta would just take leadership.
Yep.
I mean, we see here when Boyd he's torturing Elgin, he's hitting him with a hammer, he's hitting his hand, and then Acosta walks in, and Boyd says to Kenny, "Make sure no one comes in here," and Acosta just walks right past him.
Yeah, the defensive line on the stairs was poor.
And then even when they get into the room and Kenny tries to grab her, she just turns around and shouts at him, says, "Get the fuck off of me, get your hands off of me."
Yeah.
It's like Kenny should be like, "Nah, like I'm in charge here.
Yeah, so
get out of this room."
Boyd's then basically calls a timeout. He's like, he throws the flag down. "We're going down, Ted. We're going
half time.
We're going downstairs. They're ranting at each other." He's like, "You know what, DeCosta, how about you fuck off and just let me do my business up there with Elgin?"
Yeah, Acosta thinks she knows everything and she knows nothing, but...
The problem is, though, it's like, could you imagine if they knew that Fatima killed Tilly? They don't know. It's Boyd and Ellis that know that.
I think it's wrong, though, that Boyd's still not told... And Donna. Well, I think it's wrong that Boyd's still not told Kenny.
Yeah.
But when
he doesn't trust his deputy.
But when you look at this, I mean, see when you look at, like, this episode here, you feel like if Acosta and Boyd could get on the same page, he would feel like a better backup.
Well, absolutely. But the problem...
I like Kenny, but when's he going to stand up and be that leader?
He can't do it. He can't do it. Right, up next, Sarah's like, "Well, I've got to do something." Grabs a screwdriver, tells Elgin that Boyd's too weak. And
Boyd...
He's too nice. This place ruined me. I'm not going to let it ruin
him. It took his family, it took everything for him. I'm not going to let it take Boyd's soul, but it's already taken mine, and I know what I need to do. She picks up the screwdriver, starts attacking Elgin. We hear screams, everybody runs up, and Sarah is, Elgin's eye has been taken out, I guess, and Sarah's bloody, and she says, she reveals where Fatima is. I get Elgin's been an arsehole here, but I think he truly did feel like he was doing the right thing. And for me, Sarah should be getting the box, man. Yeah, you know what? I know this is going to sound really weird, but I think if Boyd gouged his eye out with a screwdriver, I don't think it's death by box or anything like that. But this is Sarah. It's like 4 strikes and you're out. I mean, how many people can you kill and maim and get away with it? Yeah, this is like female privilege, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? Sarah kills a bunch of people, nothing happens. Fatima kills, Telly gets protected. Elgin tries to help by not revealing a location because he thinks he's doing good, and he gets tortured and gets his eye taken out.
Well, yeah, Boyd smashed his hand, right? But, I mean, you'd rather get your hand smashed than your eye gouged.
Well, no, but out of the three, who's committed the worst crimes here? Sarah, Fatima, Elgin. Who's
It's Sarah by a country mile.
who's the only one that's been abused or physically harmed?
Elgin.
So, like,
Yeah, but so let's talk about it. What's season 4 hold for Sarah? Do you think she'll be killed?
and if people can say, "Oh, Boyd, but you were doing it too." Honestly, man, see, maybe breaking someone's hand. That heals. That's not the same as gouging someone's eye out. It's just,
No,
it's
not.
just,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
it's just not like.
Elgin will probably have to wear a sling, or maybe his hand will never be the same again, but it will still function. Boyd was never going to take it to this level. He was simply just going to batter him.
Yeah, but Boyd would have bottled it before he done any sort of real damage that was impairable. But Sarah just took his eye.
I mean, will this have any weight? The fact that they got to Fatima, which we're not going to get into now, but we may as well move on to other stuff. Right?
Yeah, let's move on. We'll see what happens once they do get to Fatima.
But Victor and Henry, they didn't really do much, but they took them to the gravesite. The gravesite.
Yeah, so Victor
going on a little adventure, Dad.
Victor says, "I'm going to take you somewhere, but after there, you're not going to want to know me." And Victor takes him there, and he reveals that here, this is where your daughter and wife were buried. What was left of them. He then reveals that the sister, Marielle or whatever, Marianne.
He reveals right, this is where Mom was, and as Henry's coming to grips, holy fuck, my wife's under there. He's like, your daughter.
And there wasn't much left of her. She was pretty small. It was only bones, and Henry's struggling to take all this in. Victor then reveals that he is the one that told his mum about the boy in white and the Casper and the faraway tree, and the reason that she tried to get there was because of what he said, and he blames himself for the death of his mother and Henry's wife. And then he says that you won't want to be my dad anymore. You don't have to be. You can forget about me. I got everyone killed. And Henry consoles him, says, Don't worry about it." Well, he didn't say that. But he says, "Look, your mother loves you. She was trying to protect you. You were just a boy. It's not your fault." Look, it's definitely not Victor's fault. I mean, he just gave his mum information that he received. That's kind of on her, isn't it, for taking that chance?
Yeah, and
that's what you
technically,
do.
His mum's not really dead. In a weird, reincarnated, weird way, which we'll get into pretty soon. But
yeah, so I mean, they embrace, and I think Henry's been a very good addition to season 3.
Yeah. No, he has.
I think Victor needed something like this, because see Victor just wandering about,
spiraling out of control,
hanging about with Ethan. That just wasn't. I wasn't cutting it.
Randall, he hears the noises. He's like, hey, "Where's the kit for the ambulance?" "Oh, downstairs."
Honestly, this done nothing for me. Randall could have not been in this episode. I wouldn't have cared less. He tries to essentially kill himself.
Yeah, and it would have been bloody. It would have been explosive, but they stop him. And then Christy's having a go at what's her name?
Marie.
Marie. "Oh, Julie and Randall aren't right. You need to talk." It's like, was it time for talking not fucking 10 episodes ago?
Maybe she doesn't want to talk to you, eh? Maybe she wants a man to talk to.
She wants a man to talk to, even if Christy is slowly but surely looking more like a man every episode, brother, right? Julie and Ethan, they're in the diner. They're talking about, Julie's like, "I can time travel." But I tell you what, right? There's a lot of different reincarnations. Could Ethan be a reincarnation of the raincoat guy? Because he seems to know a lot of the fucking rules. He's like, "Oh, you can't do that, Julie."
I mean, he could be, but I think once you bring out all these reincarnations, then it gets a little bit messy.
Well, you say once you bring in. I mean,
they're already brought in.
We are deep into that territory.
Yeah, they're deep in. So
Julie's like, "Right, we're going to go and do this, right? So we'll get back to them at a later point." Right, this is when Jade, you got pretty much Jim goes home. He then finds out what's happened to Tabitha. She's like, I'm alright. But I had these weird visions. Jim listens for once, then Jade turns up. They're talking about the numbers, the bottle trees. And
well, first of all, Jim goes and apologises.
Well, he did apologise to Jade.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was an asshole the other day. I'm scared. my family's in trouble and I can't help them. And they definitely won't be able to help them come the end of this episode. But he apologises to Jade and he says, look, Jade, I can't help them, but I think you can.
Because you're the man, Jade.
So we get, rather than Jim bitching and, just trying to protect his wife and cuddle his wife and, not allow his wife to try and do anything in order to escape here or experiment, he actually tries to help and he listens, and him, Tabitha and Jade, they tag along and they try and find out what the numbers mean, and Jim actually comes to terms with it being musical notes, and he's like, hey, 12. Isn't there 12? 12 in a note.
It just shows you though, it's like, Jim figures this out, Jade then figures a wee bit more out, but then Jim almost backtracks, he's like, hold on here. We're always manipulated in this world to find stuff like this out. Are we sure we want to go through it? And I tell you what, the way it planned out, they probably shouldn't have went through it.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have. So, after a while, Jade figures out that it's a song and he can play it on the violin. So they go and get the violin. Jade plays it and he says he's not moving anywhere. He rants at the town and the stupid kids that keep chanting,
Anchovy!
Anchovy! It's like, what the hell does that even mean? We're not going anywhere till you come here and, just spell it for us in plain English. So, they wait there and we see the kids coming in. And that pretty much ties in with the Fatima stuff and what Boyd sees next, I guess.
Yeah, because what Boyd sees, what does Boyd see next? Well, I'll tell you what he sees next, because this is going crazy town.
Yeah, so we get Boyd, Ellis, and Kenny.
I like the fact there was a bit of urgency here.
They're
fucking running across the town.
Yeah,
they go in, they're bursting the wardrobe out the road. Boyd's got the flashlight and the fucking pistol.
Yeah, so,
he's got his muscle with him.
So Fatima gives birth to this. I guess it's
egg sac,
or whatever, with some mutant in it. We don't know what it is yet. The so-called angel that Elgin's talking about carries it away. This little underground basement just lifts up and she walks on under it. Boyd and Kenny and Ellis get there a little bit too late. Fatima's still alive, but this angel is gone and she's taking the baby with her. So Boyd then decides to pull his gun out, he gets his flashlight out and he tells Ellis, here, get your wife to safety, get her back to Colony House. Kenny, you go with them and I'll be right behind you. And normally when you say, I'll be right behind you, you die. Normally in horror movies, you don't say that kind of shit.
Yeah, and here, if From Season 4 didn't get confirmed 2 days ago, I think Boyd's chances of dying here might have potentially went up, because obviously, here, this is the last season.
Well, no, because it's already filmed and stuff like that.
No, I guess it's already filmed, but you never know. They might have an alternative cut, an alternative ending. But Boyd goes down to the tunnels, the woman puts this sack down, we see all the monsters, and then this creature just grows and grows. Boyd's looking on what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, he's peeking.
I thought he was going to burst in and start fucking dropping people. Even though they don't drop.
Yeah, they don't drop. He's peeking behind the wall or the whatever it is, and then he just sees this baby. He sees the sack grow and grow and grow, and then it just looks like some sort of monster with no features. But then we see the features slowly beginning to assemble, and it turns out it's Smiley.
Who killed Miranda as well. Smiley's on the warpath.
Smiley is back. Boyd killed him in Season 2. But Smiley is now back in form of Fatima giving birth.
Boyd got infected blood. He gave it to Ellis. Did Ellis give it to Fatima? And that's how this creature's... Is that karma in a weird way? That this creature's came back as Smiley? But then you're wondering, well, if Smiley's dead, how's he been reincarnated? And the questions are not about to get answered.
Yeah, the question's about to get answered. So, you take it away since you caught on to this quicker than I did.
Yeah, well, I caught on to this quicker than you did. I think it is very confusing, right? You know what? I appreciate this from because
it's complex.
It's you need to pay attention here.
I do believe that we will watch this again. I will certainly watch this again.
Yeah, so pretty much you've got Jade doing the I actually thought it was going to be the theme song of the show, which I thought would have been really cool, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just some generic tune. The children turn up, and you've got Tabitha, Anchovy, and Jade's crying. She's crying. Jim's well, I can't fucking see them. How do you know what's going on here? Tabitha then's stands up. She's crying. She walks away. Jade's crying, and then it's pretty much revealed at this point that this song was used when the children were massacred, and then it's revealed that the children had to be massacred and sacrificed in order for the initial townspeople to get eternal life. And then that is pretty much the big reveal here that coincides with Smiley. So yeah, Boyd killed him, but because he's got eternal life, they're always going to come back. You can't kill them. And that's like bombshell number one. So pretty much it's like, we've always, like, Kenny wanted to go into the tunnels this season, man, and burn them all. So it's like, can you even win? Is there a way of winning here?
You're probably going to have to destroy the place. The actual town.
Yeah, and it's like, well, who runs the place? Well, let's get into that a wee bit here. So, Tabitha walks off. Jim's like, right, what the fuck's going on here? Jim's like, right, come on, Tabitha, I need to know. And she's
did we get the reveal as well that they had a son together? I believe.
Yeah, Jade and Tabitha.
Yeah, Jade and Tabitha.
Yeah, and then it's like so much is going on here. She's like, I'm Miranda. I'm Victor's mom. Jade's Christopher. We get reincarnated. We refuse to sacrifice our children. And that's why we keep coming back in an attempt to lift the curse. And Jim's on his knees here. Jim's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, Jim was buying up to this point, but I mean, I don't blame Jim for not. This is too far-fetched, isn't it, really? Although, I mean, you could argue the whole thing's a bit crazy, so...
But I get why, we're in Jim's boots. This is the most I've ever related to the guy, but it's like, can we see a bit of tangible proof why, like, Jade and Tabitha know this?
Yeah, all we got was Tabitha and Jade.
Jade doesn't really know it, did he? He didn't really...
Well, all we got was Tabitha's word. Basically, Tabitha put 2 and 2 together, and we just need to assume that she got 4.
Yeah, it's like we've seen a lot of people imagine stuff in this show. Like, yeah, she's seen Miranda get killed, and like there's connections to where she's like hugged him and she's been next to like Victor's truck and things like that. But it's like, can she really guarantee 100% bet on all you own that she is Miranda and she is reincarnated and she keeps coming back to this place in order to lift the curse?
Nah, there's no proof.
Like Jim has questioned stuff in the past that has actually made quite a lot of sense.
Yeah, but he's not really. Well, I mean, I don't know if he did question this. I think he was mind-boggled.
Yeah, and then it's like Victor. He's obviously had this hard-on for Christopher this entire time, but now Jade's Christopher. And it's like, what's going on? The plot twist? So, what is next?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's happening here.
But I think that's almost the problem with the episode. It's like, you got like 10 reveals in about 2 minutes. I think we could have just spread them out across the season.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of reveals here, and unfortunately, it was just one reveal after another, after another, after another. And before you had time to digest anything, literally, one of the main characters is dead, and it's over. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like the children that Tabitha's been seeing this entire time with Jade, and obviously they figured that out. They're the children that have been sacrificed. I'm going to assume the girl that came up to Tabitha is the child that they had. Or, one of the children that were in the vicinity is one of the children that they had. But Tabitha's like, right, Jim, I need a bit of time. I need a bit of time, player. Jim should be like, hold on, we need to sit and discuss this a bit more. But Jim, he walks off, he goes over to the RV. At this point, then we get like a flashback to Jim's like, things are gonna get better. But are they gonna get better? No, because Julie appears.
Yeah,
looking very different.
Yeah, looking older, time-traveling Julie by the looks of things. She shouts for her dad, "Dad, can you hear me?" Hair shorter, wearing different clothes. She tells him that he needs to run, but Jim, not the running type here. This episode, he's not ran away at all. He's willing to stand and fight and look for answers. She tells him this is when it happens. And obviously it's confusing because we don't really know anything at the moment what is happening. But then we get this, and I'll be honest, this guy really did look creepy.
Yeah, yellow raincoat, creepy, weird. He looks like the ringmaster, and people have said that he's in the credits of the show. And I believe I can imagine like a yellow guy in the credits, like holding children's hand around the bottle tree. That sounds about right. I'd need to rewatch the credits just to confirm that. So, is it safe to say that this guy's the ringmaster? He's the leader. He's the king.
Yeah, Boyd thought Smiley was maybe the ringmaster in season 2, but
it's like, you get like you get about 10 questions answered here, but then it's like, well, where are we? How did this guy convince this group of people to sacrifice their children? Is this actually a real place?
Well, that we don't know, but the man in yellow appears. He tells Jim that was a hell of a song.
That Jade can play, huh?
Jade can play,
Get
damn
away
it.
from my daughter.
It's the same.
You're not Randall.
It's the same voice that Jim's been hearing on the radio as well. So Jim has kind of spoke to this guy before, previously, I guess. He just looked like a creepy guy that you wouldn't really want coming near you. Unfortunately for Jim, he does come near him though.
Yeah, Jim grabs a big log. He tries to swing at him, but the guy just gets him up against the tree. Julie's then screaming, he's like, get off of him. She goes to help him. And then Jim meets his demise.
Yeah, so Jim grabs the big branch and he tries to attack the man in yellow. The man in yellow tells him that things didn't have to happen like this, you know, and knowledge comes with a cost. And Jim's going to find out exactly what that cost is. He says to Jim, I did try to warn you. And he knocks the stick away.
Why was your wife digging the fucking holes, Jim?
Yeah, I believe this is the voice that we heard at the end of season 1. So you'd need to... I think you'd need to go... I mean, I don't know. I can't remember if I've heard them after, but...
See, the problem is, though, the show's got so much filler. It's like, if you rewatched it, you forget again anyway. You would need someone to, like, edit the timeline perfectly together.
I wonder if there's any fids like that just removes any filler stuff.
And that's where it's like Lost, by the way, because right, Lost did a lot of flashbacks, but then in the later seasons they did flash sideways.
Ugh, that
sideways.
Sucks. So then he grabs Jim by the throat and he pushes him against the RV, and he pushes Julie away. And then he tells Jim, "Your wife shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim." And he proceeds to just rip Jim's throat out. Julie screams, and that's it. Before we get the aftermath, before we get to see any more reaction, the credits start playing and season 3's done.
Does this mean Jim's dead, though? I'm going to assume it does. I mean, even hinted at the fact that you can't save, like, you can't change the past, that whatever's done. This is obviously Julie for the future, so we're going to probably see her in season, 4, attempt to go back here. But the problem with this is that if you bring one character back...
Then you can bring everybody back.
And I don't like that, right? But it's like so much happened to... I mean, it's sad that Jim died, but I think it kind of makes sense. By the time Jim finally woke up and did something good, he died.
I mean, I guess technically you could say if this is from Julie's perspective, maybe she's seeing something that happens in the future. But that's not... I don't think that's the case, because she's told Jim this is what it happens. Which tells me that this is already played out.
Wonder if Smiley's going to take Jim's clothes.
Be a bit fucking weird. So yeah, Jim dies and that is it. It's we're going to have to wait and see what happens now. We've got a full year until we get season 4. Excited, obviously, to see what happens in season 4, but I mean, overall, I don't think season 3 was that good. I really don't.
No, it wasn't. I think this episode definitely, like, would I go as far as saying redeemed it? It definitely perked my interest back up in the show, but season 4 needs to be consistent. And I think the way season 2 ended, there really wasn't a lot going on, if we're being honest. I think the way this season's ended, there's so much fallout. It's like the evidence that Jade and Tabitha know now. Like, this guy in yellow, Julie knows about him. Jim's dead, how are people going to react to that? Boyd's just seen the return of Smiley. Is Tabitha going to tell Victor that she's his mum, but she's reincarnated? What's Henry going to react to that? Are they going to dig up Miranda's body and find nothing there? I don't know what's next. But I thought it was good. I thought it was easily one of the best episodes of the show, because it was one of the episodes where they talked and discussions were had and reveals were made.
Yeah, I am reading though that apparently season 4 is not going to be out until 2026, which would be...
That's a shame, isn't it? But I'm not surprised. It only got announced the other day.
Major disappointment. But anyway, guys, it is what it is, and I think when season 4 is coming out, I think we'll definitely rewatch from to try and get us caught back up, because I mean there is a lot of stuff going on, and we have missed some things as well. So, but yeah, no, I thought it was a good season finale. Started a little bit slow, certainly picked up towards the end though. So time for the rating. You know what? I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. I would have maybe gave it a 9, but to me it did start a little bit slow. Too slow for my eyes.
Yeah, it did start slow. It picked up. I mean, it was about an hour long. I mean, a lot of reveals, a big death, but I feel like we need another death in there, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably Elgin could have killed him, I guess.
I mean, he could have killed Elgin, but I mean, see the Randall stuff. They just shouldn't have included it.
Yeah, it was a waste.
If they killed him, it would have just felt so out of place, wouldn't have?
Yeah, just the Randall stuff just didn't do anything for me. I mean, that's literally filler. The Christie stuff and Marie, that's filler as well. So could have given us a couple more good scenes if you didn't have those two in it. But anyway, guys,
but who is the man in yellow? There's so many questions and theories. I know it's 2026, but it's like you get so many questions answered. There's so many more though. Who do you think he is? Just to end it, is he a super entity? Does he feed off dead children?
I don't know. He's obviously the ringmaster, isn't he, of this place? But other than that, don't really have many answers. I tell you what, if Jim's not dead, though, I think it's a massive cop-out.
Oh, absolutely.
For me, Jim is dead, and what are you giving this show? What are we giving the rating?
I'll give it an 8 out of 10 as well. I can see Jim reoccurring, though. Like Father Catry.
Yeah, possibly.
He didn't get a final scene with Boyd, though.
He didn't, but maybe we'll get that in the future. Anyway, guys, that's it. 8 out of 10, and more from videos to follow. Let us know what you think down below, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.